and welcome back to Shogun 2 with the Anglo Zulu War mod. Today we're taking a look at the siege battle, the siege at Rorke's Drift. You all know it, you all seen the movie, so there's no introduction to this, I don't think. And so, yeah, you know what? Let's head straight into it and let's see if we can turn the defeat at Isandlwana into a victory at Rorke's Drift. Right, and so there we are on the field of battle. We've dug in around Rorke's Drift, this mission station. You can see the sandbags all around. And we have set up our troops along the perimeters in this small redoubt out here, in the buildings, facing both sides. We also got troops in this building right here, and then I've dismounted the command situated right here in the center. As it is a siege battle, you have a center flag that you need to defend. With that said, let's just go ahead and start it, shall we? Now, the AI should start from about 3 angles. So we got one troop coming in here, the bigger one's coming in here, and a small troop coming in here first. Now you note here that it is set after the historical map and not like the sort of the set from the movie, which could be another way of doing it. But this is set after the historical layout of the area as best as possible within the mod. And I've got a bit of a split here in between the troops, so we don't just have the 24th. Also, I should say, the smaller the unit in this map, the better, I'd say. So, at this point I've got medium units. We're about to open fire here. So I've got medium units, which is 200, but then I've got light troops, so I can actually fit troops within this smaller redoubt. And the Zulus are approaching here, getting shot down as they approach. We're able to lay a lot of fire here right off the start onto this unit, but once the major attacks go in, it's going to be a lot harder, especially from over here. I found that the this area right here kind of covers the Zulus quite well. It's also stuff like this outer wall here covers really well. Looks like the Zulus are about to engage us in melee. They've reached the wall. I do not fear this too much, as the unit is already kind of breaking. Normally, these two units as well usually breaks. What I could do is I can actually order this one back, and then hopefully that will be able to fire at the enemy. I'll go ahead and go Encourage, because Encourage is a really important ability to use on this map, because it increases... Oh, again, this has happened. So, there's a slight issue with how Shogun kind of does it, where these guys have a tendency, the guys on the main wall here have a tendency... Oh, this one's already breaking. I'm gonna go ahead and inspire them. These guys have a tendency to start aiming for the guys coming in here first, and then they keep looking at those guys as the match goes on. So what you really need to do is tell them to hold fire and then reselect fire, because otherwise, as we saw here, they won't be able to fire through the center. This is going worse than it usually does. The enemy has not surrounded us, so I'll go ahead and pull some of these troops back. We'll pull the general back a little bit in the square. The redoubt here is still holding. We're not getting really adequate support from this house. We're getting tons from this. We are holding here. Let's see, is the square about to get overrun? We got Zulus making it all the way into the main officer. The square there in the center is really important to hold. But having the general killed would be very bad. So I'm just going to pull him back here with the units. And it's kind of important that these guys keep firing. Right, they're attacking the redoubt again. Bringing in some troops there. Make sure that these guys hold. We have the ability to encourage once more. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I think I'm going to bring the general around and maybe he can actually use his pistols from a flanking area here. Now the Zulus have made it into the center courtyard. So they are actually claiming the flag lines right now. But it's not really going to help them because we are able to just push so much fire in towards that it's just an absolute slaughter. I'm thinking we might even be able actually here to order a countercharge and break the Zulus that way. Let's get the officers in there. Right, the countercharge seems to be working. The Zulus are pulling off, and we will be moving up to the wall to continue to fire upon them as they fall back. Onto the walls and fire at them as they go. We can see tons of Zulus falling back. Quick match, of course, just like the second one. This time, however, we were victorious. Lots of Zulus running away here. Wonderful. Now, what I did in the last one was that I kind of missed, you know, what unit did the most damage and so on, because I tried to look at the end of the battle. What I can do now actually is, because we've got a meter over on the we've got a counter that actually counts the kills during the battle, we can see that if we go from left to right, we can see this smaller unit, 44 men survived. They killed 154. The second unit over here killed 220. We got the next small unit over here, which killed 167. This was the unit that was stationed here, holding the units back there. We got the unit in the house here, usually the one that kills the most. Yes, 420, not losing a single soldier. We got this unit that did the counter charge, managed to get 300 kills. And then we got these two in the house, which this one over here on the left side of the building got 363, while the other one got 344. The general ended up shooting down 6 Zulus, but that's not really the most important bit that the general is doing. Quite a few units were overrun in this one. I've played this battle quite a few times to get the amount of troops and so right. Just so, because in a few battles I did, I put too many Zulus, and then they would all kind of congregate over on this side, rather than spreading out coming from 3 different angles, which obviously makes it more like the battle. It would be cool if you actually played this against human players, and you could extend like how many, and you would have 1 defender and then you would have 3 attackers, and the rules were that the attackers could not attack all at the same time. Instead you had all 3 of them making like their waves against it. and they would have to kind of figure out sort of where to attack and so on, which I think could be an interesting way of playing this map. Now I'm not entirely sure if this is even possible, but that would be an interesting way of playing it. With that said, I've talked enough. So yeah, we held our ground and we are victorious.
Troopers, prepare to defend yourselves!
Enemy close, sir.
I decide. His guns are busted.
Break up the attack!
Glorious victory, sir! Soon be yours!
And here we get the overall statistics. We saw which unit killed what. Now we get the overall ones. So I deployed 2,000 men, and the enemy deployed close to 4,000 men. Obviously, you want to have the number of Zulus as high as possible because it's more interesting. But I think it would work whether with my idea of like having the waves going in, and there would be also kind of a time constraint on the Zulus as well. I think all sieges are limited at 20 minutes. Not entirely sure. So maybe that would obviously have to be tweaked if you want 3 waves. But I think that could be an interesting way of doing it. Anyway, so yeah, we deployed about 2,000 men. We met at almost 4,000. We ended up losing quite a lot, 772 men, but we also killed a lot, 2,600. Very few friendly fires. Obviously none for the Zulus. But we sustained a few of our own, about 5, due to friendly fire. Individual unit statistics is not that important because we kind of already got over that. Although what you could see here is the units that were routed, so the ones that lost a lot. So I had probably 4, I think, that ran away, which seems about right. So these 4 that actually ran away killed an additional 212, 142, 133, and 182. So these are the ones on the front wall, and also I think the square got broke. So it's the 3 units on the front and the 1 square that broke. I'm thinking, I'm not sure which one of these is the square, but I bet the square probably didn't kill that many. And they probably didn't lose that many as well, but they were able to run away. The bad one, the really bad one, is the one that I told you in the beginning, which is on the front wall. And it sort of snags on to fire on the guys coming in from the left, where you really need to tell him, I guess, to hold fire. And once he no longer kind of wants to aim for the guys on the left, so he aims straight forward and wants to shoot those guys, that is when you enable him to fire again. So micromanagement there, which I missed, which probably could have risen the kills a little bit and also lowered my losses. But there we have it. The Battle of Rorke's Drift. We avenged the fallen at Isandawanda. We regained the honor a bit of the regiment. And with that, I'll say as I always say, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. And hopefully I see you guys for the next one. Bye.